Hello and welcome back to another episode of Gamers Initiative podcast. I believe this is episode 8. Um, we've got we've got quite a bit of sort of interesting stuff to talk about today. But let's first get the intros out the way. So, Red Dead Panda, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for the introduction, Elite. I have. What have I been up to this week? It's the last week for my induction training, so I can start working from home again.
Oh, nice.
I've been playing some more Mass Effect 3 because I didn't complete all the DLC. So I've just been getting some achievements through there. What else? I have been enjoying the dumpster fire that is Twitter this week. It's been quite interesting if you look at what Twitter was at the beginning of the week to what it is now, since the Bethesda exclusivity side of things has actually been confirmed, which we're going to talk about because that's what our main discussion is about today.
Yeah.
But it has been really interesting, and I have been trying to be active on there for the most part, but the I think the community is just kind of split, and I think it's just split between Sony and between Xbox, PC, Nintendo. I don't know what it is, but I feel like those three versus Sony.
Yeah.
You probably or PlayStation. But yeah, I haven't been up to much. I have I have watched the making of WandaVision or what was of whatever video they had up about it. Been rewatching WandaVision. Have you finished it yet, Elite?
I did. Yes, it's good, wasn't it?
It was so good. I was like,
Yeah.
I need another season.
Yeah. It's interesting they
um,
brought in White Vision at the end. I thought they was actually going to bring it into the
but
movie, the end game, but it's interesting they brought him in there.
and I just kind of want to say thank you to everyone who kind of comes in and listens to our videos each week
Yeah.
or our podcast each week. We do appreciate you, and shout out to everyone who does listen to it. Leave a comment. Feel free
And
to.
please sub and share it out.
Yeah.
Where can we find you, Red Dead Panda?
You can find me in New Zealand. I live in the future,
Yeah.
because it is Sunday night for me, and it was Sunday morning for you,
Yeah. So
Elite.
it's 9 o'clock in the morning for me and 9 o'clock in the evening for you. Which is
Yes.
it's sort of
But
reverse roles today, isn't it? Because usually it's the other way around.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Um, so you can find me on Twitter, and I am at Red Dead Panda 1, and that is the number 1 on Twitter. So please feel free to DM me if you want to catch up about anything video gaming wise.
And please subscribe,
You
John.
can find
Subscribe and
yes,
I don't, what do
follow.
you follow on Twitter, isn't it? Yeah, follow on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah.
We're trying to get our
Yeah.
pool of
You
Gamers
can
Initiative
also
podcasts X
find.
up.
Yep, you can also find me on Xbox Live, Red Dead Panda 871. When I'm actually being on the active right now, it's been a lot of doing stuff in the background and playing something in the background on my Xbox. It's just so much easier than using the TV settings. Um, and you can also find me on Red Dead Panda Gaming on YouTube. And once I have no induction, I can actually put some stuff up. This week, I was meant to put some stuff
As
up,
your
but
sister
then
said,
I
yeah,
had
get
a
some
very
stuff
crazy
up, content
week.
up. Did you see your
Yeah,
comment?
she's
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I've played some cricket this week, and that's about it. What about you, Elite? How's your week been? What have you been up to?
Good. I've been working, as you know. I've got a new job now, so it's I'm much more relaxed and stuff. The only thing is I don't get on as
Money,
many
money, money,
evenings. Yeah,
money.
money. So yeah, it's great. I've got loads of excellent benefits to it as well. It's like a brilliant job. I'm really loving it. So it's good.
Yeah.
Um, games, obviously, we'll go into that a bit later. But I've been playing some of the games that we've got free recently from Bethesda on the Game Pass. So I've been trying them out. Games I never would have sort of looked at before or never had an idea much about. But now they're free, more or less. Yeah, I've downloaded a couple of them. So I'm starting to play some of them. So yeah, enjoying those.
Mm.
So yeah, so there.
Where can we
um,
find you, Elite?
you can find me on YouTube. Here, right here. That's about it at the moment. I'm still in two minds whether to get a Twitter account up again or not. It's just so toxic and horrible these days. and I'm never going to be bothered
Well,
with it.
it's if you
And
stay away from it and
everyone seems to be being blocked these days, isn't it? And banned and stuff. I'm continuously hearing stories of people getting banned and things. It seems so easy to ban people now and block people on that thing, or as they say, cancel
I,
people out there. It's just weird.
yeah, cancel culture.
Yeah,
I mean, if you were to jump back on Twitter, I think it's just staying above it all because so much rubbish is spouted on Twitter,
yeah,
and you can clearly tell the people who know the truth and the people who don't.
yeah. Well, I see it on my
And
channel.
yeah, you do.
You see that I get a guy called
Anyway,
Spider something or other, clearly not a PlayStation fanboy at all, keeps posting nonsense on my channel, and I just debunk
fine.
him, and
Just
then as always they direct onto another subject, and they make a
just
statement
tell
up.
him to share it out.
Yeah, make a
Tell him to
point up.
share it out. If he loves coming to your video each week, like channel each week to watch the video, get him to share it out to his friends, and they can all come.
Yeah, I should do. Yeah,
um,
yeah. As long as they'll sub. That's what I usually
turn it
say to
back
them. I
on
said I'm
him.
quite happy with you to troll as long as you sub. If you don't, I'll block you.
Exactly. You can sub
Yeah,
and troll at the same time.
exactly. No free trolls on my channel. Right. So
Right. Well,
should we get straight into it?
yeah. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay, so I've just changed out my headset. My other headset was a bit funny. The sound wasn't coming through too great. So I've stole my son's headset, and I'm hoping he doesn't wake up now and come bowling into the room, shouting while we're doing a podcast.
I am texting him now. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Wait a minute.
How did you get his number?
Yeah.
That's...
Wait a minute. Right. So yeah. So where was we? Oh yes. Right. So the Bethesda. So if anyone's unaware, if anyone's not on Twitter, not in any form of social media, has
You've been living
no
under a
interest
rock
no
this
interest
past
in gaming
week.
whatsoever. Yeah, you've been living on for the past 6 months, I imagine. But
Yep.
yesterday it come to basically. Well, no, the day before it come to a head, didn't it? Where Phil spelled it out for a certain fan base, because at first it was just mentioned. He said some games will be exclusive to Xbox, which they all jumped on the word some, and sort of tried to spin the word some as meaning none. um, so Phil done a round table and basically said the facts. He said he basically spelled it out and said, nope, pretty much the majority of games will be exclusive to Xbox and PC.
You
Um,
did.
so I don't know. Have you got the quote? Haven't you, Red Dead?
I do have the quote, but did you watch the whole video?
Oh,
The
his
whole
whole thing. Yes, pretty much.
oh, the
Yeah,
whole round table, the whole Bethesda round table, which had Aaron, Todd, another Aaron, Phil, and such. And then they went through and like showed all the dev teams and sort of
yeah, pretty
kind of
much. Yeah, pretty much a lot of
yeah.
it. Yeah, not the whole thing, but
Well, we'll get into the quote anyway because that's what
yeah,
everyone is waiting on. So Phil didn't waste any time. He went straight in because he realized that it was still a question that was being asked because, like he says, he watches the podcast. He keeps quite involved with what's happening within the Xbox or gaming community in general. So he was like, obviously, I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is an Xbox exclusive, because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go and support those games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players. We love these communities, and we will continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that will go do. But if you're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is that this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building, and the creative capability we'll be able to bring to the to market for Xbox customers is going to be the best it's ever been for Xbox after we've done this. So that's the whole quote.
yeah,
And the main thing to take away from that is that, and you were right. I want to say this last week we were talking about what we thought might happen with exclusive deals, and you were saying you think that it's going to be exclusive to Game Pass. 100% right there, Elite. So
yeah.
well done.
Thank you.
I was of two minds because I was like, I'm mindful of the fact that he was
Yeah.
saying he didn't want to kind of um, alienate any part of the gaming community, but he's made it very clear. So
Well,
my understanding of his quote is things that are already out there that they have contractual agreements like Ghostwire Tokyo and Looper, and then online communities like Fallout 76.
yeah.
Um, what's the other one? Oh my god, Elder
ESO.
Scrolls Online,
Yeah.
ESO.
Well, this
I
is
play
my.
that all the time, so I
Yeah.
don't know why I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Um, and then probably the other there's like two studios I think, or a studio in there that does like mobile games.
Yeah.
So there's going to be areas where they will have games available multiplayer because that's the way it already is. But for anything new, what he's saying is if the platform supports Game Pass,
Yeah.
it will be exclusive to Game Pass, and that is part of the Xbox ecosystem.
Yeah. The thing is, the point here, there's 2 points. One is he's not actually missing out any PlayStation fan base because all of them own gaming PCs. That's been
Or
evident.
don't they all own 3090s?
Yeah, they all own them. They all own those. So that's what he's looked at. He's probably thought, oh no, I'm going to miss out the PlayStation fan base. But then he's watched social media and realised they all own 3090s. So he's probably thought, oh, actually, I won't be missing out the PlayStation fan bases if these games are going on PC. So he probably thought it wasn't a problem. So well done, PlayStation fans. You've you've helped him play his hand there. So yeah, so he's not actually cutting out anyone. So and then also two platforms is better than one. You know, if you ain't got don't want to buy an Xbox for whatever reason, you can buy. You've got a PC. So, but I think
It's not just two platforms though, is it,
no, no,
Elite?
no, it's not. It's the
It's cell
mobile.
phones.
Yeah,
It's going to be smart TV shortly.
yeah,
It's going everywhere, and just like Skyrim, it's you'll be able to play it on your fridge at some point.
and I think also I think a deal with Nintendo is going to come up. They approached them previously, and Nintendo said no. I think moving forward, I think they might do some deal with Nintendo, and we might start seeing Game Pass on Switch 2. So
Potentially, yeah.
yeah, I got a feeling of that
Mm.
massively that they're going to partner up with Nintendo. But
Well, how do you feel about being right about this, Elite?
oh,
About where you thought what this meant for exclusives
well,
for Bethesda?
not to sort of
Toot your own horn.
yeah, toot my own horn. I've got friends that do that. But
This conversation is PG, Elite.
I know. But yeah, I actually am right for pretty much most of my content. So if I'll take it there. That's why I get. It's funny that when I get PS fanboys on my channel, sort of saying it's not going to happen, not going to happen, not going to happen, then it happens, and then I don't hear from them again. So um, it's nicer to be right than wrong, I think, especially when you're so badly wrong so often, which their fan base seems to
And
be.
what
But the thing I was going to say is the legacy. A lot of them now, first I was leaping on the word some, and now they're leaping on the word legacy because they like to just grab one word out of an entire context of sort of discussion and just grab a word out and then make their own reason, their own rhyme up behind that word.
mm,
The point of legacy, as you sort of pointed at, the the mention of legacy is aimed at games like Fallout 76, which are already on PlayStation, and are continuous games like MMOs, which is, I think we've said before, probably MMOs would probably stay on PlayStation because they're legacy games. They're not standalone games; they're actually legacy games. So it'd be things like
you
Fallout
look at
76,
Mojang with
yeah, Elder
Mojang or
Scrolls.
whatever with
Go on, sorry.
Minecraft.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of the word.
Minecraft's a legacy game.
Minecraft.
Yeah, that's a
Yep.
legacy game. ESO's a legacy game. Um, yeah, Fallout 76 legacy game, and there most definitely will be an ESO too. So that's a legacy game. So he's already given, basically telling you that be on PlayStation as well. Because MMOs are hard to keep going on one system. They have to be multi-plat really. Um, so yeah, so those games are legacy games. So the confusion between oh no, Elder Scrolls will still be on PlayStation, Doom will still be on PlayStation. No, they're not legacy games. I'm sorry, they're just not legacy games. Um, then there's the other factor with, I think the only other game that may be going to PlayStation will be Indiana Jones.
I don't
Only
think so.
because, well, my only reason on that is that Disney own the IP.
Contractual.
Yeah, contractual IP of it. While Machine Games is making the game, who Xbox own, Machine Disney own the IP. So I think there might be some Though they might do a
I
Spider-Man deal.
don't.
They might do a deal like Spider-Man, where they say, look, you can have it because it's on PC anyway and Xbox. But we have to see how it
Unlike the
goes.
Spider-Man deal, look at that. Spider-Man deal, the only console it's coming to is PlayStation, right? But if you look at Indiana Jones, the only it's not really like no one's really being left out in that regard,
No.
other than people who only want to play on PlayStation console and refuse to buy anything else.
Yeah.
Because it'll be available on PC.
Yeah. Exactly. And people still
It,
comparing Xbox and PlayStation as if like PlayStation has 150, 140, whatever it is, million consoles on the market. They don't. It's a new generation. That's the slate's been wiped clean, which I said this a year ago. This is going to happen.
Skew, what you think?
The slate's been wiped clean. So now we're only competing PlayStation 5 versus Xbox and PC. And I'm sorry, there's more PCs in the market, and there's PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X's. We actually know very little about their sales. Neither company, even Sony, are not really showing much. Because last generation, they were continuously updating how many consoles they've sold, haven't they? It was a big thing for them, and they was
Yep.
updated up. This generation, you notice they've been pretty much silent for 6 months. They're not really giving much detail on how many consoles they're selling,
But
because
it's
they know
users
they're not.
now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because they're switching over to users now, just as Xbox has, because the slate's been wiped clean. So they're pretty much head to head with Xbox Series X at the moment. In fact, Xbox Series X has taken over PlayStation in the UK for the first time ever. So, so that was
Yeah.
in January. They outsold PlayStation in January, didn't it, for the first time
Can
ever?
I can I ask you what you think the future of what do you think this whole thing is going to mean for Xbox anyway?
Oh, I think this is just the beginning. To be honest, I think this is like a snowball going downhill. I think with this, I think a lot more ears will be pricking up, and there's going to be a lot more interesting for other developers. And Phil has already talked about still. I think he said it in the round table. He still wants to go to Japan and pretty much be top dog there. He wants to take over some first party Japanese developers, doesn't he? I'm pretty sure he's mentioned that in the round table. Um,
Yeah,
so
he's
they've
he's he wants to go get to know Tango Games,
yeah
the Japanese game studio. He wants to really, I guess, because that was part of the acquisition. He might not have had time to go and interact with or get to know these guys as well as he would,
yeah
considering we're in a pandemic. Still, but yeah,
yeah. There's still more out there, and I'm pretty sure they're still looking at other because um, Bethesda Games was quite secret. There was a rumor about it, them buying them 2 years ago, but then when it went silent, nobody chased up the rumor, and it went quiet. And then suddenly, out of
yep.
nowhere, oh, Xbox are going to buy, Microsoft going to buy Bethesda. I think there's still the same thing. I think there's stuff in the background we're not hearing much of. Possibly Warner Brothers that might come back up. A lot of people's been speculating Sega. Um,
Because they're
so
wanting to buy more studios. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, we have to see how it goes going forward. But they're definitely buying more studios.
Mm.
So and there's very little news on Sony. This is my concern about Sony. As I said in my last video, I don't want them. The competition. It's nice to be able to compete because we had the 360 done exceptionally well. The PS3 was awful. They dipped. But then the next generation, Xbox One, PS4, it reversed roles. And then this generation, it seems to be reversing roles again, where Xbox Series X is doing everything right, PlayStation's doing everything wrong. It'd be nice to get a generation where both are competing on an equal level, and just to see what we get from that. That's what would be nice. But this generation, Sony and PlayStation have definitely dropped the ball. We're getting no news from them. Their console is awful. You can damage control it all you want, but the console is awful. The controller's just having issues. And they've just dropping, other than the DLC which they dragged over on PS4 and Demon Souls a remake, they've dropped no games, and they've given no news on any decent first party games either. Their state of play was terrible. They didn't talk about Horizon Zero Dawn, which is meant to be dropping this year. They've no more mention of
Yep.
God of War, which is meant to be dropping this year. No gameplay of either. It's just weird, and they're just all we're hearing about at the moment really is negative news or no news. The negative news being they've not got an external SSD for their console yet, and also news like patches for their PlayStation 5 to cool it down, or you said there's a new cooling system for the PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, new water cooling.
Yeah, there we go.
Um, looks nicer than the actual design for the actual PS5. What Elite? Do you want to chuck a photo of that up in the editing when you upload this
Yeah,
of what that PS5 looks like
yeah, I'll throw that in. Yeah, but
with water cooling? And reading the article actually indicates that it's not not any better or more effective than what they're currently using anyway. So it's not going to make much of a difference other than aesthetically pleasing. I'd rather have this on my desk or in my living room than the current look of the PS5 now.
yeah.
Um,
But
mm,
the worry is they keep coming up with other cooling solutions to their PlayStation 5, which is a worry because we was told that it's going to be worked fine and there's going to be no issues. But yet, I mean, there was a
yeah.
fan recently, a new fan, a patch to increase the fan speed. If there's no heating issues, then why are they still working on cooling systems for it? Why are they so concerned about the cooling on it? I mean, they're meant to have the liquid
So
metal
what
thing
I
that's meant to be
hear
perfect.
is where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah,
Is that what I'm kind of hearing there, Elite?
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And I just
Um,
think Sony know that there's issues with it, and I think they're just trying to, yeah,
yeah, there's some shady stuff happening. But first off, about the Xbox Bethesda acquisition finally being finalized,
yeah,
and then people taking some out of context. Obviously, I would have used some in more of a saying, not some Xbox games will be exclusive. I would have said some games will be multi-plat.
yeah, yeah,
That would have been a way
yeah,
smarter way to word that. But for everyone, well done to Bethesda and Xbox for this being finalized. No one opposed it or anything like that from
yeah,
the EU. And for everyone who's listening, this is a win for gamers on PC. This is a win for gamers on console,
yeah,
specifically for Xbox. This is a win for those who use the Game Pass mobile app.
yeah,
And it's just a win for cloud streaming altogether and cloud gaming altogether.
yeah.
Uh, and a win for exclusives because now, if we look at that, and I'm going to be facetious when I say that, but Sony has no games
No, no,
because there are no games that are exclusive to Sony anymore if the games are going to go to PC. I mean,
yeah,
you look at how Jim Ryan was saying that um, they can no longer be sustained by PlayStation gamers alone.
yeah,
They
exactly.
have to go outside of that.
Yeah,
That's why Xbox's and Phil Spencer's whole thing was going, we're not after the small fighting for the small scrap of meat in regards to the console market.
yeah,
We want the 3 billion gamers worldwide, or the 2.4, however
yeah,
many billion gamers worldwide there is.
yeah,
Um, so I think that this is that first. I mean, the first real step was getting the One X,
yeah,
to prove that they could do what they wanted to set out and do, and they
yeah,
did.
yeah.
And then the acquisition started with Ninja Theory and uh,
Obsidian,
the
Obsidian,
Psychonauts, Obsidian. But
in
what is that
Exile.
company? I can't. Tim Schafer's company. I can't think of them. In Exile, all of the creating the initiative, everything like that has started the groundwork of setting us up to what we're going to see as having 30
Yeah,
exclusives at some point.
th-
It's going to be insane this generation to be a Xbox ecosystem game. Like
yeah,
within that ecosystem, it's amazing, and I think Bethesda was the right fit
yeah.
because they have such a wide variety of games. If you look at, and I know Phil didn't mean to throw shade, but kind of did, and I don't
Oh
have the
yeah, that's what I was going to mention. Yeah,
I don't I don't have the what he said in front of me, the quote, but he was talking about how they don't have a company that just releases one type of game.
yeah,
They have a company that has a plethora of different types of game genres to
yeah,
keep people engaged.
yeah,
Because people get bored doing the same thing over and over again. That's the definition of insanity, basically.
yeah,
But
yeah,
having this wide variety, whether that's JRPGs, whether that is standard American style RPGs, that could be RTS games, that could be first person shooters, third person shooters, horror,
Sims,
um, indie
Sims,
games,
Racers.
simulation games, races, all of those sort of things. They've just got this massive variety of games on this one system.
Yeah,
So I think this has been probably, well, if we look at what happened last year, because it's what been 6 months, within the 5 to 6 months since this was
Yeah,
announced. I remember when it was announced, it was like a mic drop moment when they said Bethesda
yeah,
was getting acquired. Well, Xbox was acquiring ZeniMax
yeah.
and the studios under them. The community, and this is just the community altogether, was in shock. Whether you're an Xbox
Mm,
gamer, whether you're a PC Master Race, whether you were a Nintendo fan or a Sony fan, didn't matter. It shook the gaming community as a whole because of how big an acquisition it was. $7.5 billion. And if you want to put that into the context around the three big heavyweights, specifically the two main ones that we majority talk about because Nintendo's its own entity, is I mean, PlayStation's net worth is 40. What did I say? It was 45 billion
45 billion. Yeah,
before.
it's not. That's a
Yeah,
good.
45 billion is
That's
their
not
net
bad.
worth.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Their estimated net worth as of March this year, $45 billion.
Mm,
Xbox's net worth, and this is just Xbox. This is not Microsoft and Xbox. This is just Xbox. So you can understand why Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, is pushing and allowing Phil to do what Phil is doing within our community. Xbox is worth a total of $585 billion.
money, money, money.
That's massive.
Yeah,
In comparison to, and we're just talking about PlayStation, not Sony as a whole, PlayStation, $45 billion, and you can understand why they wouldn't go out and buy Bethesda,
yeah,
ZeniMax.
yeah. And you can understand why Xbox were the first gaming company in history to be rated in the top 100 FT. They were rated 87, while PlayStation's still never been in it. And people question it. Why is that? Why is PlayStation are worth more? Clearly, they're not. They are not worth more than Xbox. Xbox is just worth vastly more than PlayStation.
And people who bag on Microsoft and Xbox as part of Microsoft and saying like, why would you want to be a company like them?
Yeah,
Xbox is one of those. Oh, Xbox. Microsoft is one of those top-rated companies worldwide.
yeah, yeah,
Worldwide.
yeah,
In which, if you want your company to succeed and have a great what's the word for it, climate and culture and an atmosphere and all of that,
mm,
people try and mirror themselves to be like Microsoft. That's the same with Apple and the same with Samsung and some those other massive contenders
yeah.
out there. Those are huge companies. But Microsoft is one of those top companies. Sony isn't in comparison.
No,
But this is one of those big three worldwide, these companies, and Xbox is a subsidiary of that.
yeah. And
Um,
I don't think it was amusing for people
I
to ever think that there would be a competition between Sony and Microsoft. It was deluded.
I think there's always going to be competition. I just think that the competition is not what us fans frame it to be.
No.
It's not about what we think it is. It has got nothing to. We are squabbling here,
Yeah,
as fans over nothing, and they're actually playing the long game. It is
exactly.
business to them.
Exactly.
They don't care about the console wars.
No.
They care about what keeps you engaged in their ecosystem and keeps money flowing.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, PlayStation. I mean, everyone in the community was shocked, and then PlayStation fans were very shocked, and they were damage controlling this. There were things going, oh, they didn't have good games. Like the last couple of games were a bit of a flop.
Yes.
From
Suddenly, none of them like Bethesda
from
games.
considering now, if you look at the way 76 Fallout 76 has launched at, and it was real buggy,
Yeah.
and even Todd Howard was acknowledging that, which was lovely to see a company admit that they've done a hell of a lot wrong. Um, and now to where Fallout 76 is, they even said it was one of the top played games on Game Pass for a MMO,
Yeah.
which is great. Um, but the damage control is insane on this. People are now going, there's no reason it's no longer a big deal because we already have all these games on PlayStation anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, you do have all these games on PlayStation, but you don't have any of their new games on PlayStation other than the two that are timed exclusives and they are contractually obligated to release those on those systems for that year. And then those games are coming to Xbox. But any new games like Starfield, we're going to hear something about Starfield, and I don't think it's coming to PlayStation 5. I'd be really shocked if we did. But why is it turning around that? Because they're now changing the goalpost. They're trying to damage control and lessen the actual impact that having this massive acquisition be finalized. They're downplaying it. You can't downplay something as big as this, no matter how you try to do it. Facts are facts. If Sony PlayStation had bought ZeniMax, we would never hear the end of it as Xbox gamers. Never hear the end of it. We would be they'd be saying Xbox is dead. Basically, give up now. Why would you buy a console? Blah 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 blah. It would just never end.
Yeah.
Be happy. I mean, someone else didn't get the studio and then make it just pump out non-stop microtransactions.
Yeah.
Do you know what is funny though? Just watching the people who are now asking for Game Pass to come to PlayStation.
Yeah, I know. Having hated on it for a year, 2 years, and now they want it. But
It's never coming to
it's
PlayStation,
not.
guys.
No.
There are plenty of platforms out there you can play and use Game Pass for.
Yeah,
It's not coming to PlayStation.
it's not. Buy an
Why
Xbox.
would they want you paying a yeah? Why would they want you paying a subscription with someone there in
Yeah.
their business? What's the word for it? They're in competition with as a business, not fan competition because us fans can be crazy. Um, but I think it's just ridiculous. Like Twitter has been insane this week.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for the fact that Bethesda is now on Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm just I don't know. It's just been interesting to read stuff.
Did you
People are
see the
still
end?
under the assumption.
I know. It's because it's just weird delusions and just desperation.
People are still
And
thinking that there's still a chance that the games could
I
come
don't know
to
why they're so in
PS5.
there. Just buy an Xbox. I don't know why you don't buy an Xbox. The reason why they bought PlayStation for exclusives, rather than
Yep.
port begging and stuff like that, just buy the Xbox or buy the games on PC. I get people PS fanboys going, I'm just gonna buy Xbox games on my PC, and I'm like, okay, good for
Well,
you, well
people are
done.
saying
Your money's still gonna go to Xbox. That's what you're not. They can't
exactly.
grasp that
Yeah.
fact. They can't grasp that Xbox is still gonna. They seem to think PC is like a company that's
Separate
gonna,
entity.
yeah, separate entity, a company. It's not. If you buy an Xbox game on PC, your money goes to Xbox. It doesn't go to some sort of weird god in the sky named PC, and the money just goes into their bank account. It's gonna go to Xbox. Idiots.
People is now saying deluding themselves, saying that Xbox is leaving money on the table by making these games exclusive.
Yeah. Though
Sony's been doing
yeah,
it for years, apparently. If we go by your
for
standards and
20
your
or 30
logic,
years. Yeah, they've been doing it for 20, 30
and
years.
and now Sony has come out and said, or Jim Ryan has come out and said,
Ryan.
the PlayStation fan base, yep, can't be sustained by PlayStation gamers alone.
No. Facts.
Financially, with the way things are moving, they can't continue just to keep exclusives, and for people to forget that fact and ignore that he said this, the writing is on the wall, and we're trying to be as nice and honest and factual as we can about what is going to happen. The sooner you guys come to terms with it, the easier it's going to be, because I feel like so many people are in denial about this, and in denial about where the gaming industry is heading into the future. They're just in denial completely, and that's where we've got the people damage controlling and people still thinking, hey, there could still be a chance. But the people, I think we talked about it last week. There were like two parts of the gaming, like Kotaku and another company. I can't think of the name. Journalists that have said that they primarily game on Xbox at the moment. They've
Yeah.
got a PS5, but it's just
Uh,
sitting there,
yeah, it's tough.
just sitting there,
Can
because
I?
there are no games to
Yeah,
play on PlayStation.
yeah, yeah. But then you've got the other media, which clearly have been bought by Sony. Well, if you don't believe in bias, then you're blind. Basically, there's still media that are running Xbox down. Every time there's positive
Yep.
Xbox news, they run him down and say there's no reason to own an Xbox. I'm just going to buy a PlayStation 5. We've had Griffin Gaming recently done a video on it about the what are they called?
Mojo Gaming.
Watch Mojo that's running
Yeah.
down Xbox. After Phil comes out and says games are going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC, he said
Yep.
they've basically Watch Mojo, who are like an independent media company, they've run down the Xbox and said it's not worth buying a Xbox, buy a PS5. If they've not been paid off to say that, then I don't know what is. And then who's the other one? You said there's another one, wasn't there? That's in the on Twitter.
I checked it in our chat. Where is our chat? Dual Shockers.
Dual
The
Shockers,
one called
yeah,
Why Bethesda Games won't all be Xbox exclusive.
yeah,
We already forever. They're
yeah.
saying why Bethesda Games may not be an Xbox exclusive forever. So there's plenty of channels chucking stuff
IGN,
out and with misinformation.
IGN is also doing it as well. They're jumping on the legacy bandwagon, like I did with the word "some." Now they're jumping on the word "legacy." So IGN are still supporting Sony and just trying to throw shade in it and sort of give PlayStation fans hope. It's just
Yeah.
weird that these companies do it, and they're obviously paid off. They're obviously been paid to do it because I can't see any other reason. If you was neutral, I can't see any other reason why you just skew the facts and just make up stuff against one company
I don't get it.
and
Yeah.
openly say that it's don't buy this console, buy this console. I can't see why you'd openly just say that if you was a neutral party, unless the Xbox Series was so bad and it did work basically, but the PS5 is right now and it's having issues, then I can't see why you'd do it. But the other thing I was going to
Yeah.
mention as well, what was I going to think about? I forgot. Oh, did you watch the end of my video? That's what I was thinking all about. A year ago, I showed at the end with a Crap Gamer done a video on Sony buying Bethesda. they
Oh
thought
yeah.
they thought Sony was buying Bethesda, and he done a video on it and saying how it would be a
Yep.
mic drop moment. It'd be over for Xbox if that happened.
I think
All the fan base in his channel was saying, yeah, it's over for Xbox. Xbox leaving gaming. And now a year later, Xbox buy them, and then none of them care for Bethesda, and they don't think it's a big mic drop moment. Isn't that weird?
I don't
Just
get that. It's like they've completely forgotten that they've grown up on these titles that for any gamer who actually appreciates the hobby that it is
yeah,
and have turned it into a lifestyle or a living or whatever you want to call it, for anyone who actually knows what being a true gamer is, their games have been the cornerstone of some of the coolest game genres to come out and to exist. And
yeah,
they've done so much for the gaming industry
yeah,
over the last 20 years. For you to just kind of blatantly ignore the fact that they've got this huge history of games that we all love.
yeah.
I think it's rubbish. I think it's bullshit, guys.
Well, the other concern
If this
people,
had never happened, you guys would still be
yeah,
praising
exactly,
Bethesda's name. So
yeah,
I just don't get it. It's actually really concerning that you would
yeah.
just trash them. Like people are going out there. There are console Sony and I say this PlayStation crazy fanboys who are now talking about how Bethesda's did to them.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing I was going to say and all was, I forgot again. I keep losing my train of thought. um, oh yeah, about the engine.
It was
The
Agatha all
yeah,
along.
the Fallout. Don't. What about
Sorry
people
about my
that've not?
singing,
Yeah,
guys. It's awful.
what about people that've not watched it? No. Was the engine. The Fallout engine, people say it's still going to be using the Fallout engine, which is NAF, blah 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 blah, for their future games. I don't think they most certainly won't be doing that under Microsoft. I wouldn't be surprised if
Not using
one,
the Fallout engine.
yeah, their Fallout 4 engine, which is their outdated engine, I can't remember what it's called now.
No,
They most
because
certainly won't be using
the
that for
new
future projects.
the new one for the reason why Skyrim hasn't come out is because they have said that there is a new engine that they're
Yeah,
doing for Skyrim 6, which will be the new engine that they use for Fallout.
yeah,
But that depends if they decide to do Fallout. It could be that the next Fallout title actually goes to Obsidian and they do a new Vegas too.
exactly. Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah, which is not on PC, by the way.
We can
Recent home
dream. We
Xbox.
can dream.
But the other, or they could use, because Xbox just made a whole brand new engine, didn't they? The Infinity engine, I think it's called. Is it? They just made a new
Slip
engine.
space.
Dip space, slip space,
Slip space.
dip
Dip space.
space, slip space engine,
Oh,
which is what
yeah,
took,
the one that
which
Halo's running on.
yeah, which is what slowed down the production of Halo, because they made it on the old engine, didn't they? Realised it weren't working, so they had
Yeah.
to create a whole new engine for this game, which is what delayed it, which people don't realise. They just run with the old narrative of it was crap. Um,
Hmm.
so they could even start using this engine in the future if it proves successful, because this engine's meant to be massive.
That or UE5.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's coming out as
Mind
well.
you, we're talking about gaming engines, and then something that recently came out, and I'll jump away from what we're talking about and jump back to it in a second. Talking about how the AMD's super sampling, which I guess is their version of DLSS, which is Nvidia's machine learning stuff,
Yeah,
looks like for Xbox, who has this already hardware in their system. A lot of the engines have to have it enabled
yeah,
to allow this particular feature to be taken advantage of, and not many do. So that's going to be interesting when we start actually seeing the console take full advantage of. I mean, devs take full advantage of what's in the console, and that's including the game engines. Because if your game engine can't do ray tracing, it can't take advantage of that, for example.
yeah,
So your game can be as beautiful as it is, and they can put as they can make that game run as amazing as it could be, but it's probably not going to be taking advantage of all the features that
yeah.
RDNA 2 would be, unless your engine is updated to make that compatible. So I think some of the engines that, and it's probably Slip Space, and it will be UE5,
Yeah.
will be adding stuff in to take full advantage of the Series X
Thankfully,
console.
thankfully, however, the PS5 is so future-proof. It's using RDNA 9, apparently. Yeah, it's using technology that's not even.
9.2
Yeah, 9.2 is. It's using
or
technology that's not even been
10.28?
thought of yet. So, thankfully,
Oh,
um,
no, it's using variable RDNA 2 rates.
yeah, one
Right,
point
that's what it
one.
is. Variable refresh rates.
Yeah,
Who
truth
knows?
is.
Variable frequency.
Yeah,
Um, but back to Bethesda anyway. I think it's interesting. I'm ecstatic as a console gamer, primarily Xbox gamer. It makes no difference to me currently that these games and now coming to Game Pass or coming to Xbox in general, because they're games that have been out for a long time, or somewhat a long time, and it just means more people who haven't had an opportunity to play them will get to play them,
yeah,
because that's what you're seeing as a trend on Game Pass in general. I mean, you and I both downloaded some
yeah.
games that have
Um,
just come to Game Pass from
I
Bethesda.
yeah. Dishonored 2 and Prey I've downloaded. So I'm
I've
gonna give it.
downloaded Wolfenstein, the New Order. I've never played a Wolfenstein game, so I'm gonna give
Nor
that a
have I.
go. I think, whew, that sounds interesting. It probably scare me. I remember watching someone do a playthrough, and then out of nowhere, one of those like robot dogs come out and attack you, and I was like, that scared the crap out of me. I don't know if I'll be able to play this. I'm gonna give it
Yeah.
a go.
I tr-
We'll see how far I get through it.
yeah. I tried Doom Eternal. That was on Game Pass beforehand, and I tried that and didn't like it, to be honest. So I deleted it.
Is it too fast paced? It looks like it would probably give me like not nightmares, but it would probably definitely be too much, like overstimulating for me
Yeah. Yeah.
with the amount that's going on.
It was just a bit too repetitive for me. I don't mind repetitive, that kind of when you're playing competitive gaming, and it's repetitive. But when it's a whole game of it, I just got a bit bored. To be honest, I played it for a couple of hours and was bored, so I turned it off. But
Anyway,
I'm looking forward to
any
Prey. But I was just going
yep,
to mention about.
glad to hear that.
I was just going to mention the games as well, because we talked about it earlier. The comparison of games and what Xbox has got now. First, let's just look at the first party confirmed. This is confirmed. First party confirmed exclusives, i.e., these are only going to be in Xbox Series X. They're not going to be in last generation consoles like Xbox One or Xbox X. These are only going to be in Xbox Series X. We're looking at games like Avowed, Perfect Dark, MS Flight Sim, Fable, Forza Motorsport, um, State of Decay 3, Hellblade 2, Everwild. Did I say Avowed? We're looking at
You know what?
Starfield. Well,
Elite, too many to mention.
there is too many to mention. And then on PlayStation 5, exactly the same scenario. First party confirmed games for the PS5. We've only got Gran Turismo 7 and Ratchet and Clank. That's what we've got. It's the only two games, and it's
Confirmed game
confirmed. There's only two
or
confirmed
confirmed
games.
game. What
First,
about Horizon Forbidden
that
West and Gears of War? I mean Gears of War. Sorry, blasphemy.
God of War.
God of War.
Right, for Horizon Forbidden West is also on PS4, which they said that it's confirmed.
Oh,
So
you
it's
mean
not
completely exclusive to
exclusive.
PS5?
Yeah, exclusive to next gen. For a reason to buy next gen consoles, which is what we've always been told to buy. There's no reason to buy a next gen console. So PS5, there's only GT7 and Ratchet and Clank. Horizon's Forbidden West, which you've seen no gameplay for or anything, is confirmed to PS4. God of War, they didn't even say anything. They didn't even say what console it's going to be on. They've kept very quiet about it. They showed no gameplay of it. They showed nothing about it, and it's meant to be released this year. So I reckon that's going to be a PS4 title as well. Some people have speculated it's just going to be DLC. A lot of people say it's just going to be DLC, and that's why they can't be hush about it.
I want to chuck this at you very quickly.
Go on in, I'll catch it.
Is
My
just
reflexes are too fast.
as gamers, it's not a question. It's just something that is known at this stage by our community.
Yeah.
Is there are games that are coming out this year that haven't even been announced yet for Xbox.
Yeah,
There are games that are meant to be releasing this year that haven't even been announced yet.
I reckon one of them is for Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon 5? Where are we at to?
You reckon?
I reckon
Because
one
I
of,
reckon it might be a bit delayed because I know that the Forza tech engine is the one that they did for the new Forza on, Motorsports on.
which is
But
I
I
think a
reckon when they
reboot,
do,
isn't it? I believe it's a
yeah, I
reboot.
don't
That's
know what
one.
they're going to do with that. We haven't heard much, but I reckon that engine, because that's the one that they has the Forza tech on it.
Yeah.
I reckon that the while they're upgrading that engine, we won't see a Forza Horizon 5 until a little bit later because they need time to grasp that engine because it's
Yeah.
just been updated within the last, I don't know, couple of years.
Like,
But you could be right. You could definitely be
or
right. It could be Horizon.
or it could even be things like something like Indiana Jones or Starfield, which even they've not because they've both not really officially been announced or confirmed for Xbox.
I know. I think you're more likely to get Starfield than Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. I feel like Machine Games have literally just still quite heavy into the beginning parts of
Yeah, most
development for
likely. Yeah.
that game.
Yeah. And then there's all the third party we've got this year. We've got Crossfire X, Exo Mecha, The Gunk, Warhammer 40k. God, there's so many third party games.
There's a ton of them,
There's a
guys,
ton of
and
third party.
we
Then we've got Arc
honestly
2, which is massive. Arc 2 is Xbox PC exclusive, not on PlayStation this time round. Starring old Vin Diesel that's thrown his own money into it because he's a massive fan of the Arc games. So he's thrown his own money into
better
it.
than
And
that
he's helped.
racing game he was in.
Yeah, exactly. And he's helped produce it and helped produce Arc 2. So that'll be coming probably next year, most likely, or the year after. But, Xbox has got that. PC's got that. No more that on
Mm.
PlayStation. And Arc is got a massive following. I think it's one of the most
The
watched
other thing
things on Switch.
I want to throw it, just mention here is what I mentioned on Twitter when this was finally came to fruition after Phil had announced what he announced.
Yeah.
Was Game Pass subscriptions are at about 18 million, right?
Yeah. Look at the last
Imagine,
count, which is January,
Yep.
February. Yeah.
January, I think. Imagine what Game Pass subscriptions are going to be moving forward.
When these first games start dropping, when Starfield releases on Game Pass.
As much as these Sony the hardcore Sony fans want to believe, if the game is good enough and they don't want to play it on Xbox, they can play it on their PC, and I think they will.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people um who once they actually get into Game Pass realize the benefit, the cost savings, and everything like that. If you're able to spend as a Sony or PlayStation fan, able to spend $70 per game and get 4 games in a year, you can easily have a low subscription fee from Game Pass and get access to a multitude of these Xbox ecosystem exclusives
Yeah.
that you wouldn't otherwise have. You're still paying into, obviously, Xbox itself, but it might be more justifiable than spending $70 for
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Sony Magic game. And anytime that they say that a game on Sony is with that story-driven 30 FPS cinematic bullshit
Yeah.
game they're talking about,
Yeah.
the only reason why they were so 30 frames of cinematic is
Yeah.
because their systems couldn't run it any higher
That
than
is it.
30 frames
Yeah.
to get that fidelity that they were going for. Why do you think the games look so good?
Mm.
Because they literally coded it to make sure it was could run at 30 and nothing else, whereas Xbox
Mm.
started putting games on PC, and so it has to be optimizable for both platforms.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
They weren't just slowly designing it for one system.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a change, guys.
This
But
is.
that's
Yeah.
my thing: is Game Pass subscriptions are going to go up by the millions,
Yeah. Most definitely.
and if you can buy multitude of $70 games, and why would you unless it's those exclusives you can't get anywhere else, and now you can because they're all coming to PC.
Yeah.
Why would you spend $70 per game when you can get like $15-20 a month for Game Pass?
I think that's the most shocking thing about the media as well, is that they never ever went against Sony when Sony raised the games to $70 or £70, whatever. There was nothing said about it. It was just okay. But these games are not just their first party AAA games. They're just, it seems to be a lot of their games just have $70 now. Even like they're smaller titles that are coming out. It was a recent game they dropped with people saying it's only a double A game, but it cost £70 and it was horrible. Was it Demolition All Stars, I think? Only rated like in the 50s,
Mm.
and it was just like a double A
Yeah, but
game.
Destruction
That cost
Destruction
£70,
All Stars
and it had
also came
microtransactions
out,
in it as well.
but didn't it come out free for the first month
Was it? And then they charged
on
money for
PS
it.
Now?
Was it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, then they charged money for it, but then they had always
Wow.
had microtransactions.
Wow. What else was there?
Preference is key, and then you can tell with the gaming media, a lot of their preferences over the last 7 years has been Sony.
Yeah. Yes.
And you are starting to see changes. And I think
Yeah.
part of that is because, and we've been dealing with it for years, and there are some podcasts that are
Yeah.
Xbox centric that have been talking about it for years. The games are coming.
Yeah.
The future is bright.
And the
Xbox is
games.
talking about wanting to
Yeah.
to have 30 studios.
Yeah.
We have 23 studios
Yeah.
with how many teams? Like 30 teams
Yeah.
within those 23 studios.
Yeah.
There's
And
no shortage of games coming.
it's not.
The whole Xbox has no games mantra
Yeah.
is gone. Xbox has no exclusives. Neither does PlayStation anymore. They're all timed as far as
Yeah.
Sony's. I mean, PlayStation ponies, and I say ponies because it's that part of their group.
Yeah.
Have been telling us for years. If we go by their definition of what they think Xbox has no games, Sony has no games now. PlayStation has no games.
No. And
You can tell I'm bitter about it because we've been dealing with it for years.
Phil said a year ago. Phil said a year ago he wants a first-party AAA released on the Game Pass every quarter. So that's four first-party AAA games a year. That's a lot. People can say, "Oh, PlayStation always does it." They don't. They don't. At tops, PlayStation will release one first-party AAA, one or two first-party AAAs a year. They've never done before, and that's at the best.
Yeah.
That's towards the end of the generation. Sony's always been dry. We've never seen anything decent from Sony for the first 2 or 3 years on every console they've released. So But I
They
mean,
don't want to release anything big. That's why they have all those contracts
they
for all
hold
these
out
other
for the
games
end
at
of
the beginning of
generation.
generation.
Yeah, they hold
Because
out.
then they want to release those
Yeah,
Sony Magic titles because their first party devs have been working on that system for so long that they
yeah,
can get all of the magic out of
yeah.
it.
And they drop
By the
everything.
end of this
Yeah,
generation,
they drop everything at the same time at
there's-
the end. Yeah,
yeah,
every generation they do that. Every all their games come at the end of a generation, every generation, and I'm surprised the media hypes them up over it. It's
I'm
just
not
weird.
surprised.
Nah, nah. Imagine buying a car
Yeah.
and your car doesn't work until the end of its life. It doesn't work
Hmm.
until the last 2 years of its life, or anything.
Yep.
If you bought anything and it lasts 7 years, but it only really come to life for the last 3 years, why would you buy into that? I don't know why you'd buy into that thing. You'd wait until the
I don't know.
end of its life and then buy it rather than buy it at the beginning, just waiting for it to come to life. But anyway,
Off,
so are we done here?
off topic. I almost bought a Series S this week.
Oh man,
I'm holding out. I'm holding out to the end of the year, guys. I'm trying so hard. But yeah, I almost bought a Series S this week.
I can't even get
And I
that.
could find one.
I want to buy one. I can't get any. And it's gonna be even harder now. Now, but they go with Bethesda and things like that. And everyone's gonna want an Xbox now. It's gonna be even harder. It's just mad.
Are you sure though? Because I thought everyone has PCs, so you don't need to buy an Xbox.
Oh yeah, that's true. Everyone has gaming PCs. No, yeah, not just
Yeah.
PCs, but everyone has the £3,000 PCs, $3,000
Rigs.
PCs. Yeah, rigs. Oh, yeah, rigs.
Yeah.
So everyone has those. Everyone, even my nan has one of
Yeah.
them. Apparently, yeah. Yeah. So are we done here?
I don't,
Are we finished, or is there other
yeah, I don't think
topics?
there's much
I
more to
think
talk about.
no.
PlayStation, certain PlayStation fans are Game Pass begging now, or basically cutting Bethesda out of their lives. Why would you cut a company out, like a series of devs out of your
Yeah,
lives, if they do good games?
yeah,
You
exactly.
might not be happy that they're on a platform that you don't like,
Yeah,
but they're not on a platform themselves. They are
yeah.
part of an ecosystem, and that's what I think they need to change their
The,
mentality about how the community and how this is going to work moving forward.
yeah,
Is you are not being forced to buy an Xbox.
yeah. No.
He is telling you to get Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly. That's console
You are being
sales.
forced to
Yeah,
buy Game Pass.
console sales is an old metric. I don't know why people still thinking winning a console war. The fact that they put the word war into it as well is ridiculous because there's no war because Microsoft's already won. It was, you know what I mean? It's like spears versus guns.
585
Yeah, I know. It's
billion.
spears versus guns. So just because you're throwing more men into the war, it doesn't make you the winner. It doesn't make you the winner by far. You know. So um, at the end of the day, Xbox is
Well,
coming out on top because it's all about revenue. Both companies only care about revenue and profit. You don't care about sales of a piece of plastic. They don't care about that unless it's making them X amount of money, which the console sales themselves don't. They're all sold negative, so they don't. Console sales is software sales, software people, and user install base, which now Jim Ryan's promoting there.
yep.
So
Well, I'm so ecstatic by what's gone over the past week, with the confirmation of Xbox and Bethesda. I think there was great news that it actually happened and that we're finally knowing what's going on, because that was the hardest thing over the last 5 to 6 months, is the consistent bickering between one part of the community and another part of the
mm,
community about what was happening with the exclusives. We now have a definitive answer, which we've been needing, so we can get over this and start focusing on the next thing that's
yeah,
coming our way, which are the games. And that's on both sides,
yeah,
guys. Um, I think the only detractor from that was just seeing the amount of people who just blatantly ignore what they've been told and still go off on
it's
tangents
weird, isn't it?
about the games are coming to PlayStation.
Yeah.
The amount of people, so on Twitter you can like mute specific words, so you don't have to see the tweets that involve these.
All right.
And there was the amount of muting that was going on this week was also astronomical. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Elite, for having me on again this week.
That's all right.
Um, sorry about the change in time frame. I just had family over, so I
Yeah.
couldn't do it at my usual time for recording. But thanks for everyone for hanging around and listening to us for
Waffle.
another week.
Uh,
Yeah. Waffle.
please share this out on Twitter, even though we hate
What?
it. Well, I hate it. Please share it out on Twitter. Please, we want to get start getting our subs and stuff up because we would love to do giveaways. I'd love to do giveaways. As I've always said, I want to do giveaways on the show. So, but we sort of need more support with that and more people. So, otherwise, having just 10 people watch
Giveaways,
our
guests.
channel, giveaways don't sort of everyone's gonna get something and that's it. So yeah, please support our channel. And we want to bring more and more content, and then hopefully Red Dead Panda will start putting their own content on our channel.
Oh my god, it'll be great. I just need some time. I am just so exhausted. I have so many things I want to say as well, which is why I say them on here.
Yeah, you need to rant.
Poor you guys
Get back to ranting.
listening to my opinion.
Yeah, we tried to get a
It's
guest on. I
valid
tried
and
to get a guest
important.
on this week, this episode,
This
but
year.
because we changed our times up and it's sort of early, like a lot of the guests would be American, and I think it's probably about 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning now for America, so we couldn't really get any of them on. So hopefully next week we'll go back to a normal time, in which we can then get a guests on. So
Yes. Yes. Next week I don't have anything planned, so we will be able to. The week after is a different story.
yes.
I will just put it out there. The week after will probably be a no-go for me. It's my dad's 70th.
Oh,
So,
it's my birthday next
yeah.
week. So
Happy
yippee.
birthday. If I
Thank you.
don't say it to you now, I'll say it to you
Next
later.
Saturday.
And in the chat, wish Elite a very unhappy birthday
Oh yeah.
by telling him to fix his mic.
Yeah. Just be done.
Do it.
I'll do it. Not fix it, just install it. Just plug it in. I've got.
Do some.
We're waffling on again. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We always do
Thank
it.
you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.